It's a mini. It's a mini.
Oubliette minisodes.
Hello and welcome to Movie Oubliette. It's Conrad here with Joe Lipsett.
Hello.
Yes, we're here together in Toronto for the International Film Festival, and we'll be dropping some bonus episodes on the films that we saw here in the horror, sci-fi, and fantasy genres. And today we're going to be talking about Obsession, which is a sort of a monkey's paw, be careful what you wish for story.
Oh, yes. So this is written and directed by Curry Barker. It's his feature film directorial debut because he made a splash, I think, even just a year ago or maybe 2 years ago with a film called Milk and Cereal, which debuted on YouTube. It's about 50 minutes, and it got a very welcome reception from the horror community. So I think people were very excited to see what he would do with a title like Obsession.
Yeah, and I think he's very much wanting to travel in the footsteps of Zach Cregger and
Jordan
Barry.
Peele.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creating darkly comic but mostly serious, creepy horror.
Yes.
So the setup here is that we have our main character, Baron, who for some reason in our press notes is called Bear.
He goes by both.
Is
Yes.
he? Okay. Yeah, played by Michael Johnston, who most people will know as Teen Wolf, I believe. I've never seen it.
Yes, I don't remember him. Folks, if you're looking to visualize, think of a slightly younger Dave Franco.
And he's very cute.
He's very cute.
And he has a terrible crush on his friend Nikki, played by, I don't know how to pronounce this,
Indy Navarrete.
but he has never professed his love. They're in a group of, like a friendship group of four, two girls, two boys.
Yes, they play trivia together every Tuesday, and his friend Ian, who is played by Cooper Tomlinson, doesn't want him to say anything for fear of breaking up the group and making it awkward. But of course, we will come to discover over the course of the film that there has been sort of secret crushes and maybe some hooking up. So the fourth member of the group is Sarah, played by Megan Lawless. And yeah, like it's a pretty traditional mid-20-something friendship group. They all seem to be doing reasonably well. They don't seem to have too many problems. It's a lot of like, we're early career. Do we maybe want something more? And also, romantically, is there an opportunity to move from being friend zoned from the platonic area into something more romantic? So yes, it's a question of when will Bear make a move on Nikki and how will she receive it?
Yeah. But unfortunately, before he does that, he goes into a mysterious store with some interesting joke objects in it and crystals and the such like, and finds a Make-A-Wish willow stick.
It's a willow wish stick, yes. So
Yes.
you pop it out of its novelty box. There's a kind of cheesy sound effect. You make your wish and then you snap the twig. And, everybody treats it like a joke because it does feel like a novelty. But of course, in the world of this film, that one wish better be very specifically worded, because if you say, I want Nikki to love me more than she has ever loved anyone, oh boy, are you going to get it.
Yeah, you really are. So it's a be careful what you wish for, monkey's paw tale with some genuinely creepy moments.
Yes.
There are some well-staged moments that genuinely made the hairs stand up on the back of my neck. There is a jump scare.
Couple of good ones.
Couple of good ones that made me jerk in my seat and made me think I should just hand in my badge. This is terrible. But the thing that really worried me about this one, though, and it increasingly got under my skin as the film went on, one is the depiction of obsession.
Right.
Which I don't think this film does at all.
Okay.
The other is that it just seems incredibly cruel and mean-spirited. I wouldn't quite go as far as to say that it hates its audience, but it certainly doesn't really want to give you a good time.
This is interesting. So we saw this film differently in terms of you went and saw this with an audience. I saw this as a screener.
Okay.
And I was curious about your response because I knew as soon as I finished watching it that it was going to be divisive. So I don't think that the film is a slam dunk. I mostly enjoyed it. I'm going to give a lot of credit to Navarrete because Nikki really goes through the fucking ringer. So the big conceit here is that Nikki stops being Nikki the minute that the wish gets made, and she just becomes this infatuated, obsessive romantic. So she can't stand to be left alone because she needs to be around Bear all the time. You know, like if he goes to the bathroom, she wants to go into the bathroom with him. So there is comedy to be mined from some of this, but over the course of the film, it can get quite grueling and punishing because this isn't a woman anymore. This becomes almost like a cipher, right? And I think some women are going to have a lot of problems with this because it's like, okay, well, fully half of the equation is not a character anymore. She's a sexual object. You can definitely read some insinuations of sexual assault because Bear does have sex with her. And if she's not herself anymore, then what is he doing? So there's some difficult elements with that. But I'm going to give the film a certain measure of grace and say that I think Barker is well aware of that. And it's a question of whether you like how far he is pushing the envelope.
Yeah, I think he wants people to have that conversation.
Yeah.
I think he also is trying to deliver a genuinely shocking, creepy movie.
Right.
But much in keeping with his YouTube
Persona.
content. Yeah. It's still darkly comedic. So
Yes.
he is trying to be funny. And I actually think that's his undoing.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'll give you one example. There is a scene in which, as you mentioned, Bear does have sex with her after she has fallen under the spell of his willow stick. And
Not a euphemism.
No. And she is making porno noises while he is
Yes.
riding away, and he is not looking at her face, but her face is facing the camera, and we can see that she is completely checked out.
It's vacant. Yeah.
Yeah, she is not there. And as the film progresses, you get this sense that this is not a woman who is suddenly finding herself trying to come to terms with and rationalize and understand this strange, new, overpowering sense of love and infatuation that she suddenly has for this guy that she's been friends with for so many years.
She's just gone.
She's just gone and turned into this freakish, inconsistent thing. And that's the thing that's most amazing about Inda's performance. She is just flicking from one thing to another on a dime. And it's incredibly impressive. They accentuate it with sound design.
Yes.
So that you can feel the snaps as she changes. But she is an incredibly inconsistent and creepy and odd and irrational.
Yes.
The things she does do not, to me, add up to obsessive, overwhelmed love. I mean, standing in the corner in the dark and staring at somebody whilst they sleep. Standing on the spot, smiling in an incredibly freakish way, like a broken robot, for the entire day, waiting for them to come home again and peeing yourself.
Yes. That's beyond.
It's beyond. So what you are let in on as the audience, he's sort of like that moment where in the sex scene, you as the audience are being shown these things that will make you laugh or will make you uncomfortable. He's going for the darkly comic gag. And story-wise, I think, spoilers here, if you don't want to know this, then stop listening to me. But I think what they're going for is that, yes, she is gone, she is possessed, and whatever it is that is in her is not her, because occasionally she comes back.
Yes, and she's terrified.
And she is absolutely terrified that she's locked out of her own body and does not have control over what is happening to her.
Yeah.
I think that's its undoing, is that it's trying to do something like Talk to Me, but with his own comic YouTube persona injected into it, and it just does not sit well with me.
I can definitely understand it not sitting well, and I do think that that's going to be partially where the divisive response from audiences comes from. So I think some people are going to find this just too icky. Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to hear a lot of women get really creeped out by this movie. And I do think that's one of the smart creative strategies of casting someone like Michael Johnson, because, you know, we literally open this conversation by saying he's very cute.
He is, yeah. He's instantly likable. But despite that, a lot of women walked out of my screening.
Oh, I could absolutely understand why. Like, I think this film plays very differently for a woman who's ever been controlled by a man, who has felt
Yeah.
trapped in a relationship. And I do think that that is part of the reason that Barker wanted to explore this. But you are right. It's not traditional obsession. This is not a Lifetime movie with a girl who becomes dangerously unhinged with her attraction to a man, right? I think your connection to Talk to Me is actually more astute because you're messing with a power that you don't fully understand, but also the rules aren't super interesting to explore. Like the film doesn't really have an interest in talking about how this Will-O-Wish treacle works, right?
Yeah.
It is just the monkey's paw. It's the MacGuffin. We get the wish and bad shit happens. And then we learn one thing about it, which is that if the wish maker dies, it will be unmade. So it's a question of when Bear sees what he is doing to Nikki, this woman that he purported to have loved for so many years, he could just never fathom a way to express his emotions or make his intentions clear. That woman is gone. And there does seem to be a hot moment where Bear contemplates, like, is there a way for me to kill myself and maybe not die so that Nikki could come back? Or is there another way to get around this? And the film ultimately doesn't go that path. It's not interested in exploring it in any great detail.
No.
And I think for some people that may feel like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But there are so many moments where it's just not interested in exploring what is happening, which could have been interesting if it had not been a weird, creepy possession narrative and it had instead been still her but trying to grapple with this weird behavior that she suddenly, then you could have had a wry commentary on modern relationships and abusive relationships that you also play for horror, but which I guess it would essentially be sort of Fatal Attraction for Gen Z. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you could do that, or you can do the full-on possession horror. But the thing about that is that he's still okay with it as long as she can just dial back the creepy.
Yes.
Which is really upsetting.
Yes.
So then I don't like him anymore.
No. I think as the film progresses, one of the things that you start to discover is that even if you do find him cute in a very sort of non-offensive mid-20s white guy kind of way, he's such a pathetic slacker loser. Like, he really has no ambition and there's no real reason why he would make a desirable mate. And I do think that that is one of the wry observations about the film. Like, this film would play completely differently if he was a different race, or if he had a different kind of job, or if he had a stronger, more authoritative personality. But one of the things that I think I liked about the film so much is that this guy has virtually no aspirations. Like, he wants to get with Nikki for reasons that aren't even clear. Like, she seems lovely, but maybe apart from the fact that he finds her attractive or fuckable, it's really unclear why he likes her as opposed to Sarah, the other group in the friend group, which, yeah, spoilers, it is revealed that Sarah is actually attracted to Bear. And it probably would have been a much simpler relationship to have pursued, but he had designs on Nikki for whatever reason. He put her on this pedestal. And I really feel like that's what ends up getting interrogated as the film progresses, is that Bear is this sad, meek, just everyman kind of Joe. And you realize he didn't even really like Nikki that much. He just wanted a girl who wanted to be with him or that he could fuck. Like, in some ways, it does feel softly incel.
Yeah.
But not in that super creepy way. Although you realize the movie is super creepy because he clearly understands that this is not the Nikki that he knows. And he continues to date her. He continues to fuck her. He continues to take her to parties and so on, as a bit of arm candy trophy wife kind of deal.
Yeah.
So I completely understand why you felt uncomfortable, why you disliked this character as he progressed. But part of me, I was like, oh, I think that's the whole point.
Yeah, you're probably right. But it doesn't...
It's not enjoyable.
It's not enjoyable. Now, that's the thing. And then, I mean, I don't know how spoilery to get, but then let's just say there is a murder.
Yes.
That is really upsetting.
Yes.
Really cruel.
It is.
It continues a current trend of violating somebody's face to a point where it's utterly grotesque and inhuman. It's awful. It seems to be a real trend in horror at the moment, is fucking up people's faces by ramming it against a hard surface.
Yes. See also Zach Krager.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that is just mean, because there's even a moment afterwards where you can clearly tell that the person is still alive and gasping out their last in this horrible state. It's just mean at that point. I just thought, okay, the movie just hates us now. It's just trying to hurt us. This is not nice.
Yeah, I think that's meant to be the point of no return. You know, you think, can this character be salvaged? Could we maybe get Bear and Nikki back? You know, is there going to be some other kind of monkey's paw? You know, we're looking to explore. Can someone else make a wish that will undo all of this? And we can just go back to the way we were. And when that murder happens, and then there are subsequent murders, it's so dark that I think at that point, you're either thinking, okay, you know, because I'll confess, the murder that you're referring to was a holy fucking shit moment.
Yeah.
And then there's another murder that happens just a couple of moments later that is kind of fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And I do like that we're able to negotiate between those sort of highs and lows and different reactions. But I think for many people, it will already have come too late and you're just kind of ready for the film to end. Because I do think the other criticism that people will have, apart from the main character being very icky and deplorable, is that the film ultimately doesn't really have a lot of places to go. Like once Nikki is gone and we've just got this stand-in kind of possessed version of her, it's a lot of just what weird shit is the Nikki thing going to get up to next? How far will the movie take it? And I think for some people that's going to get boring.
It is, especially seeing as it doesn't really, well, it ramps up, of course, but it goes from about 60 to 100. It doesn't go
almost immediately.
Yeah.
It doesn't build in quite the way that you maybe hope or want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, I'm criticizing the movie for not being the movie that I wanted it to be, which is never a good thing to do. But also I'm criticizing it for what it actually is, because it's not enjoyable. Yeah. I didn't enjoy it at all.
I could sense you struggling with it when you said, yeah, I watched it and I just did not like it.
Yeah.
It did not sit well with me. And I thought, I can't help but feel like that is the point. And yet I also can't fault you for saying, that was an unenjoyable film to watch, you know, whether that was the desired intent and it was like, checkbox, you know, Curry Barker did the thing that he was trying to accomplish. He made you feel uncomfortable. It's still, I think, a slightly difficult film to recommend, particularly if you know how certain people are going to respond to it.
Yes. And I think there is a way of doing that. And I think that the thing that got me about this, because you can have torture porn.
Yeah.
You can just torture your audience until the credits roll. And if you're down for that, that can be an experience of its own. I go in for that sometimes. But
and this will be interesting because, of course, we have watched this film based on a still and a description. So we don't know how it's going to be marketed. But I will be very curious to see if the marketing tries to play into some of the comedic sensibilities, or will it acknowledge, oh, this film is going to make you really fucking uncomfortable. Because I did see one critic liken this, speaking of Dave Franco, to Together.
Yeah.
The movie about codependent relationships that Franco made with his wife, Alison Brie. And I think that that's maybe a generous comparison. They're maybe on the same sort of wavelength, but I don't think it's a one-to-one. I don't think if you like Together, you will like Obsession. I don't think I would make that recommendation. But yeah, I do think that there's something interesting about the way people are approaching unhealthy relationships in both.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on at the moment. Companion is probably the one that I enjoyed the most.
Right, yeah, which I think is probably a bit more audience friendly. But I do think this film ultimately, it's a hard film because it is about really unlikable people. Like the most sympathetic person is Nikki, but Nikki's not there.
But she's not there for most of the movie.
But
so we don't
Sarah
really
is
know.
also quite likable.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and tonally it's quite odd because even when it's making that giant plunge into gruesomeness and cruelty, it still has the gall to have a silly moment.
Yes, moments of levity.
Yeah, but just really absurdist moments. Like somebody else makes a wish and it's instantaneously granted in a way that's just visually ridiculous.
Yes, like that moment.
You did.
I did.
I was sitting there thinking, on what level am I supposed to accept this reality now? Because I don't get what we're going for. It feels like YouTube sketch comedy.
Okay. I can see it. I didn't respond the same way, but I can see it.
Yeah. Didn't work for me. But I still do think that this director is one to watch.
Oh, yes. If nothing else, this definitely makes me want to see what Curry Barker's going to do next.
Yeah, absolutely. He hasn't come out of the gate with Talk to Me or Barbarian, but it's promising.
Yeah, just even on a technical level, this movie looks really good. And I think the sound design is actually very key. You know, you mentioned how we augment Nikki, but like there's some really creepy sound effect work that's going on that helps the film to get under your skin.
Yeah, it does have some genuinely disturbing moments in it.
Yes.
So if my description or my distaste for it doesn't put you off, please.
Or it might have intrigued them.
It might intrigue you. It may do. If
Are
it
you a
sounds
Joe
like it's
or
up
are
your
you a
street.
Conrad?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. On every episode with, Dan and I have very different tastes as well. And you can sort of align yourself by taking the litmus test with either of us and then see which one you want to go for. So if it piques your interest, definitely check it out.
Indeed.
Okay, that's it for this episode. Look out for more TIFF coverage and do reach out to us on our socials.
Oubliette mini-sode.